She actually called the cops on my wheelchair-bound dad for illegal camping while he was fishing for his PTSD therapy under a $20 pop-up tent. That HOA Karen thought she ruled Willow Creek Estates until I proved my family literally owned the bedrock beneath every McMansion on her precious block. Buckle up, because this suburban dictator's empire crumbled faster than her fake authority. Picture this: a perfect Colorado morning, sun sparkling off Willow Creek Lake, loons calling across the water like nothing could ever go wrong. Dad, Sergeant Mike Caldwell, Iraq vet, both legs gone to an IED in '07, sat in his chair at the public boat ramp, the county map still clearly marked as open to everyone. I'd popped the little beach shelter over him so the UV wouldn't fry his meds and his skin. 4 hours of casting line, breathing pine air, letting the water do what 40 VA sessions never could. That's all we were doing. Then the golf cart rolled up like a parade float from hell. Victoria Langford, everyone called her Vicky behind her back, stepped out in white tennis whites that probably cost more than my truck payment. Clipboard in one hand, measuring tape in the other, fake smile glued on like cheap wallpaper. "Excuse me," she sang in that syrupy voice that made your teeth itch. "This structure violates our community's visual pollution ordinance. It's lowering property values." I looked up from tying a fly. "Ma'am, county records say this is public land. Check the plat map." Her cheeks went the exact color of a stop sign. "I don't care what some dusty old map says. I'm HOA president, and I have the authority to issue citations." She slapped a paper on the tent pole like she was planting a flag on the moon. $500. Remove it immediately, or I'll have you both removed. That caught my eye. That quiet, "Don't make a scene, son," look he'd given me since I was 10. So we packed up, folded the tent, loaded the gear, drove home in silence while Vicky stood there filming us on her phone like she'd just busted the Unabomber. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something about her little performance felt too rehearsed, too eager. I dragged out Grandpa's old banker box from the garage, the one he'd left with the cabin when he passed. Tax records, survey maps, yellowed deeds from when Willow Creek was still just ranch land. And there it was, page 23 of the 1954 sale agreement. Grandpa had sold the surface rights for the development, sure, but he'd kept every single mineral right underneath. Limestone, gravel, the whole subterranean jackpot. The same bedrock sitting directly under Vicky Langford's 6,000 square foot, modest family home. I sat back and laughed, the kind of laugh that starts low in your gut and tastes like revenge served cold. Next morning, the first fake citation was tucked under my windshield wiper. Notice of environmental violation. Unauthorized camping structure on protected lakefront. Signed Linda. Wait, Victoria Langford, Deputy Compliance Officer, Willow Creek County. Cute. I called the county. "Hi. Checking on one of your environmental officers, Victoria Langford?" Long pause. "So we don't have anyone by that name. We don't even have a deputy compliance position." Bingo. Impersonating a county official, federal crime. But I didn't storm her door. Not yet. Instead, I bought a couple of trail cams, hid them in the reeds, and waited. Sure enough, day 3, Vicky rolled up in her golf cart wearing what looked like a Halloween mall cop badge. The camera caught her placing another fake ticket on an elderly couple's car, threatening to call the real authorities if they didn't move their lawn chairs. She even measured the distance between their cooler and the water like she was defusing a bomb. I saved every second. Sweet, sweet footage. But I wasn't the only one who'd noticed the new sheriff in town. Old Man Harlan, been fishing this lake since before Vicky was born, wandered over one evening. "That Langford woman's making life hell for everyone," he muttered, casting his line. "Got the Garcia kids scared to swim. Says their splashing disturbs the peace." He squinted toward the McMansions. "Funny thing, your granddad always said he kept something when he sold this land. Called it his insurance policy." My pulse kicked up. "What kind of insurance?" "The kind buried in county records, son. The kind most folks don't bother reading." While Vicky was busy playing traffic cop, I was busy doing what environmental engineers do best, reading fine print. Her husband's development company, hemorrhaging cash, back taxes, EPA flags on 3 other projects. Their house was collateral on loans that were about to default. And the limestone under all of it? valued at roughly $2.4 million in today's market. I leaned back in Grandpa's old chair and smiled at the ceiling. Vicky wanted to play government. She was about to meet the real thing. 3 days later, Vicky launched her social media blitz. She created the Willow Creek Community Standards Facebook group and somehow recruited 47 members overnight. Our pictures, Dad and me, captured without consent, appeared in an album titled Vagrant Camping Concerns. Captions called us unidentified transients setting up unauthorized structures. They zoomed in on Dad's wheelchair like it was evidence of a crime wave. The comments turned ugly fast. Protect our property values. Keep transients out. Dog whistle stuff. Vicky had turned my disabled veteran father into the neighborhood boogeyman. I still didn't confront her. I just kept filming. Then she crossed the line that made my blood boil. The Rodriguez family showed up for their weekly fishing trip. Kids with cartoon poles, grandparents with folding chairs, and a cooler of homemade tamales. Vicky called ICE. Actual immigration. Claimed suspicious individuals establishing an encampment. The family had been coming to this lake longer than Vicky had lived in Colorado. That was the moment I filed the ADA discrimination complaint with the Department of Justice. Every fake citation, every social media post, every threat, timestamped. Meanwhile, my lawyer friend Sarah had been digging. Ethan, she said over coffee, eyes gleaming. Mineral rights trump surface rights. You can literally drive equipment through her front yard, and there's nothing she can do. Plus, check this. She slid over another folder. Your grandfather didn't just keep minerals. He wrote in a permanent public access easement. Every homeowner in Willow Creek unknowingly agreed to it when they bought. And the original landowner, your family, has enforcement rights. I read the faded type and felt the pieces click. Every time Vicky blocked the ramp, every cone, every rent-a-cop, documented covenant violation. She'd been breaking the law while pretending to enforce it. Her husband's illegal filled dirt in protected wetlands? Another EPA gift. Illegal dock extensions, floodlights blasting migratory birds, all on camera. I filed the formal complaints quietly. Let the real authorities start circling. Vicky smelled trouble. She convinced 3 neighbors to file noise complaints claiming Dad's wheelchair was damaging sensitive wetlands. Then she tried the 911 play. 6:47 a.m., my phone rang. Dispatch saying someone reported aggressive trespassers threatening residents. We were still drinking coffee when 2 squad cars rolled up, lights painting the mist red and blue. Vicky stood beside her golf cart, arms crossed, phone recording like she was directing a reality show. The sergeant took one look at Dad in his chair, our fishing licenses, the county map, and turned to Vicky. Ma'am, you reported aggressive trespassers? Her voice hit that pitch only dogs can hear. They've been camping here for weeks. The sergeant's expression didn't change. We've had 3 previous calls from you, all unfounded. Pattern harassment against protected classes can become a federal civil rights issue. 20 minutes later, Vicky was getting a lecture about false police reports while I was handed the sergeant's direct line. Body cam footage rolling the whole time. She wasn't done. She hired private security to patrol public land, rent-a-cops in fake tactical gear trying to confiscate our tackle box as abandoned property. That was the day I had her served with a federal cease and desist, delivered while she was measuring someone's grass height with a ruler at 7 a.m. The look on her face was pure comedy gold, but the real hammer was still in my pocket. I'd already met with the limestone company. Site survey scheduled. Equipment staging planned. And every single measurement was another nail in Vicky's coffin. The county hearing was standing room only. Cameras from 3 local stations, veterans groups in the front row, even the tourism board showing up because restricted lake access was costing the county $500,000 a year. Vicky arrived with 3 Minneapolis attorneys and a crisis consultant who looked like he'd rather be getting a root canal. She wore her best, I'm the victim pearls. Her lead lawyer started with the usual polished garbage: property values, community standards, protecting hardworking homeowners from outside agitators. PowerPoint slides, charts, the works. Then it was my turn. I walked to the podium with 1 folder. Commissioners, this isn't about property values. This is about one woman trying to steal public access that's been guaranteed by law for 70 years. First slide, Grandpa's 1954 easement agreement, blown up huge. Murmurs rippled through the room. Second slide. Trail cam footage of Vicky at 2:17 a.m. in dark clothes prying up survey stakes with a crowbar. Gasps. Third slide. The audio of her offering Commissioner Bradley 20 grand to delay this nonsense. You could hear a pin drop. Final slide. Aerials of her husband's illegal wetlands fill. While Mrs. Langford was busy calling veterans transients, her family was dumping construction debris in protected habitat, 3.2 million in EPA violations. Vicky lost it. "This is a conspiracy," she shrieked, jumping up. "He's bribing everyone. These people don't belong here. They're destroying everything we've worked for." The phrase "these people" hung in the air like a bad smell. Security escorted her out while she kept screaming about socialists and environmental terrorists. Her own lawyers looked like they wanted to disappear. The vote was unanimous. Immediate injunction against any interference with public access, $50,000 fine on the HOA, criminal referrals for evidence tampering and attempted bribery. 3 weeks later, the "for sale" sign went up in Vicky's yard. She and her husband packed their McMansion like it was on fire. U-Hauls rolling out while neighbors suddenly remembered they had urgent errands. She pled guilty to evidence tampering, paid 25 grand in civil damages, and last I heard they'd fled to some Florida gated community where she's probably already measuring new neighbors' lawns. 5 families took my buyout offers, 120% of market plus relocation help. The rest formed a new neighborhood council that actually listens. Quarrying started in spring, quiet, professional, environmentally managed. 2.1 million over 3 years, every penny going into wetlands restoration and the new Veterans Memorial Fishing Pier. Dad's there every morning now, teaching kids how to tie knots while eagles nest in the replanted banks. The lake is cleaner than it's been in decades. Kids laugh where Vicky's golf cart once patrolled. And every September we throw the Lake Access Festival. Veterans, families, old-timers, new neighbors who finally understand some things belong to everyone. So here's the question I leave you with. Was Vicky Langford just a concerned neighbor protecting property values, or was she the real criminal who proved exactly why nobody should ever trust an HOA Karen with power? Drop your answer below. And tell me, what's your worst HOA horror story? Because trust me, the next takedown might be yours.